Yo, RX back with another recap of Dana White's Contender Series Week 8. We back with another recap of the 8th week of the Contender Series this year. That was fine. It was fine. I don't think it's anything great or anything, but yeah, it happened. Not the best week of the season at all. I definitely think last week's was better, but this was a week of the season. I definitely, if I had to rank it, I would imagine it'd probably be on the lower side of the ranking. I'm not saying it was a bad week, but it definitely felt like a little bit of a lower level week. Not in terms of fighters, just in general. When it comes to just how it felt. Yeah, not saying it was bad, but it was fine. Not some fights I might skip through pretty quickly because I don't think they really deserve that much time. But then will be once I do get a little more time. So I don't know. It was fine. It happened. Got a good moment or two out of it. Got some new fighters. It's Contender Series. It's always great. Sadly, this is the third to last episode. We only got 10 fights left in 2 weeks. So enjoy what we have. And even if it's a little bit weaker like this week, it's better than nothing. And yeah, still always happy to see some Contender Series, even if it was a weaker week than most. And always a good way to kick off the week. Pay-per-view week. Always happy for Contender Series, man. So yeah, that's about the long and short of it. Without going too far into detail, that's about what I think of the week. It was fine. Again, there was highs and lows, and you'll be able to tell which was which very quickly. So yeah, I don't know. It happened. Good to have Contender Series for a couple more weeks, and even the weaker weeks are still good. So there you go. About all I gotta say in this quick, well, not quick, but this intro. Fine week, and always excited to recap it. Always excited to see Contender Series, and then also talk about it. And always a good way to start the week. So let's get our fucking voice ready to talk about a lot of anime this week, beginning with this. So let's do just that. I think the only other thing to say before I get into the recap is the usual YouTube bullshit, and that is please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn subs goal by the end of 2025. I think I fucked up that saying, but you know, it is what it is. Turn subs the goal. I just, you know, I've got a word in there. It's what it is. Yeah, I think that's about everything I gotta say before we get into it. This Contender Series don't need to be some long-winded thing with only 5 fights, and a few of them were not great. So no need for a long-winded intro. So let's get into some recapping, because I know that's what we're all here for, so let's do it. Week 8, one of the last weeks of the season, to begin pay-per-view week. Ready to recap some fights, some Contender Series. I know I am for one of the last times this year. Let's recap Contender Series. 5 fights from the Apex, the only time the Apex should be used, and we began with a flyweight fight that was easily the worst fight of the card, and clearly neither guy got a contract, so it kind of proves that to be true. As we had in our first fight of the night, the shitter of the night, but it was opening the card at least, so at least the worst was to begin it. We had to begin the night at flyweight with a fight that's dreadful to watch. We had to begin week 8 of the Contender Series. Rashid, Rambo, Vagabov versus Paulo, PH, da Silva, or I'm guessing it is Henrique, because that's what they said on the, that's what his name was on the broadcast. So I don't know where they got da Silva from. Yeah, this fight was terrible. It's a Russian fighter, so you already know it's gonna be boring and shitty, and that's what it was. I'm not gonna waste your time here because there's really no point. For 3 rounds, Rashid dominated. He was the way better fighter by a mile, but it was still so boring. On feet, he was better, but couldn't really do much. On the ground, he was better, but couldn't really do much. For 3 rounds, that's about what happened. Clear 327 across the board. Boring as fuck. The highlight of the fight was him talking to Dana in between the fight like he's Hamza. It's too bad he ain't Hamza, because he couldn't get a finish, and he didn't get a contract. This was fucking garbage. Yeah, this was pathetic. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. One dude should have never even been there, and the other dude didn't even try to win a contract. He just wanted to talk shit. So, yeah, this was a waste of fucking time. Neither, like, I wish this fight could have went to other guys who actually, like, wanted to be here and trying to win a contract, but they gave it to these 2 clowns who one has no fucking ability to fight and the other had no ability to actually be exciting, so... You know, waste of time, waste of a contender series spot, and, yeah, pretty shitty. Can't really say much else. One of the worst fights of the season. I don't know if it's the worst. I might not go that far, but it's up there. It's for sure up there for one of the worst fights of the season. Yeah, it was terrible. Not really much else to say. Boring, terrible, clear win for Vagabov, whose name sounds very different when Michael Bisping says it. Yeah, it was terrible. So, not really much else to recap about the fight now, is there? So let's just talk about the useless, I think, fighters, but they don't actually try and fight, so I don't know if they're fighters. Beginning with the winner, Rashid Vagabov, 14-2. 27 years old, coming from the Khabib camp, where they don't train anything actually exciting. Excuse me, where they don't actually train anything exciting. Yeah, he's a normal Russian fighter. Boring, shitty, no idea how to actually fight. Yeah, he sucks. I'm actually thrilled Dana did not give him a contract, because I thought he was gonna... It reminds me of Hamza. It's like, no he doesn't. He's shit. Like, he's fucking garbage. Like, it was weird to see, like, a smaller dude from the Khabib camp, but I remember Takir Ulanbekov, and fuck, he looks like goddamn GSP compared to this dude. Yeah, this guy's awful. I do think we will see him in the UFC eventually. Either he'll get a short notice call, or he'll get another fight on Contender Series, like, next year or something. But yeah, he's boring. It's just that simple. He's too boring, and, yeah, it's the last thing we want in the UFC is another boring, shitty fighter, let alone at flyweight. So, a division that's meant to be exciting, and usually is. The last thing we need is some boring dude who wants to talk more than fight. Kevin Holland can get away with it. You can't. You suck. You're Russian, so you're boring, and fuck you. You wasted some fucking 15 minutes of our life, and a Contender Series opportunity that should have went to anyone more deserving. Bum. And for the opponent, Paulo, Henrique, or De Silva, whatever they're calling him, 11-2 now, 23 years old, from the shoot-to-box camp of Charles Oliveira, and clearly Charles has taught him nothing. I get maybe striking might not be something you teach him, but fuck, teach him some grappling, man. This dude's awful. He was outclassed from pillar to post in every sense of the word, and he's awful. He's young, so maybe he'll be able to sneak another shot in on something, but outside of that, he's fucking terrible. And yeah, somehow I think he might be one of the better losers of the night, which would say a lot, but yeah, he's terrible. Pretty simple. They don't even know what his fucking name is, so what does that tell you? He sucks, and he got outclassed here in every sense of the word by a guy who didn't even try to fucking focus on fighting him. Good job. Yeah, nothing really else to say about this fight. It was a complete waste of time. One dude thought he was Hamzat, the other dude forgot how to fight, or if he ever knew how. The biggest favorite on the card could not finish a guy who had no idea what he was doing. A waste of time. I'm happy Dana called him out and said, like, dude, you gotta focus on fighting, and didn't give him a contract. Again, I do think we will see Vagabov get a shot, either Contender Series, tough, short notice, whatever. But yeah, he's just too boring. Again, he's a Russian fighter. He's boring. They don't know how to actually fight. So, and then this Silva, Henrique, whatever is shit too. So, shitty fight, waste of time, and on a card that was not phenomenal. This was extremely a low point on it, and yeah, shit way to open the card. One of the worst fights of the season. Let's get to some finishes. As we head into the finishers, I don't know, portion of the program, which is the rest of the card, with the part of the card that I have some interesting things to say. This is the next fight. I definitely am going to have some interesting takes to give. So, that's going to be very interesting. I'll hint at it, but we'll definitely go into it in the next fight, and it does involve our loser here. As we have in our second fight of the night, the beginning of the finishing portion of the card, because all the other fights on this card are finishes. 3 in round 1, 1 in round 3, and the round 3 one is good, so don't worry. As we begin with the first real fight of the night between one for real fighter and a tomato can, we had our second fight of the night at featherweight, our first of 2 fights at featherweight, and the first real fight of the night. We had Kurtis, the Pink Panther, Campbell, versus the Black Tiger, Demba, Seck. And now we begin the portion of the card where the UFC brought in guys who are super inexperienced and have no idea how to actually fight. I don't have much to recap here. It went 80 seconds. Fight started. Seck just tried to throw bombs and missed every fucking thing. Campbell started grappling. Seck had no idea what to do. Eventually Campbell landed a good knee that hurt Seck. He fell down to his back. Some ground and pound. It was over. Quick, easy one for Kurtis Campbell. And again, this begins the back-to-back trend on this card that, yeah, they brought in guys who have no idea how to fucking fight more than throw power, so, you know, great. Definitely deserving of a Contender Series opportunity. Wow, really all I gotta say about the fight, one dude in this fight actually knew how to fight, and the other just knew throw power. It was fucking pathetic, and that's literally what I said after the fight. Like, the second the ref called the fight, all I could think was that was fucking pathetic. What the fuck else can I say? Waste of an opportunity finding a guy who has no idea how to actually fight. What a joke. Let's talk about the fighters. We'll begin with the winner of the fight, obviously, usually, I guess, Kurtis Campbell. 8-0 now, 23 years old, and joining the UFC, British, so you know they were going to sign him for sure. Not from Cage Warrior, thankfully, so he does have a little bit of talent. He's a weird one. He did look good here, but, against a pathetic excuse for an opponent, so I'd like to see a little more from him before I start saying anything about being a prospect. He's going into featherweight, which is a shark tank of a division, and I'm intrigued to see what this guy can do. He has the look. He's a weird looking dude. He has that funny nickname, hair, etc. Very Paddy Pimblett-esque. Can he be better than Paddy Pimblett, which is a very low bar? We'll see. I don't think he's, like, just from what I've seen tonight, I don't think it will be terrible. But I think worst case he'll be okay. He could be like a 3-3 guy. But maybe he's legit. He's super young. I think if we're going off Brits this season, he might be the best one. What, him or Louis Lee Scott? I think he looked a levels above Louis Lee Scott. And I'm a little intrigued to see what this guy can do. He looked fine here against a pathetic opponent, so I'm happy he ran through him with ease, and, welcome to the UFC. Another Brit. Does featherweight have many Brits? Well, Lerone Murphy, and I'm forgetting someone for sure, but, like, Lerone Murphy, so not really many Brits in that division. They love that market. They try and get as many fighters as possible from that market. They had another one here who looked as good as he could against a pathetic opponent. Welcome to UFC. Let's see if he's more than just a silly look. And then the opponent. Oh boy, there's some things to say here. Demba suck, or Seck, same thing. The loser of this fight, 10-3, 31 years old, and I don't know how the fuck he got that record. It has to be a lie. There's no way he actually got to a 10-3 record. This dude, look, is the most inexperienced 31-year-old fucking 10-win guy I've ever seen. He literally has no idea what the fuck he's doing. Just like some we'll talk about next fight, and just like all these other guys they get, Musasa, anybody, their whole game plan is just throw power. They don't know how to grapple, how to pace themselves, how to kick. It's just throw big shot. And it's like, bro, you need more training than that. You need a game plan. Fuck, I could have a better game plan than that. And I'll say it now, I get Senegal pride in having a fucking team alpha male. But fuck, man, are you that stupid? That your whole game plan is just wing power. And we've seen it work before. Francis Ngannou, DWCS, good, smart fighters. But fuck, man, this was the most pathetic performance I've seen all season. It's like, Jesus, man. He had no idea what he was doing. Literally zero clue what he was doing. And he's meant to be the more experienced guy and older. What the fuck? Just pathetic is all I can say about this fight, so... And trust me, I'm gonna follow up on this topic with the next fight. But just for right now, I'll just say fucking pathetic. And that's about all I gotta say about this fight. It was 80 seconds, and it was one dude who actually knew how to fight against one dude who didn't. Good one for Kurtis Campbell. Welcome to the UFC. We'll see if he's legit and more than just a funny look, and he earned a shot. Welcome to the UFC. Not really much else to say. Seck is a joke who we'll never see again because he's already 31 and looks like he has no idea how to fight. He doesn't have a fucking idea how to fight. Campbell, we'll see him when we see him. He took no damage, so we probably can see him as soon as possible. Welcome to the UFC. Would like to see more of him than beating up a tomato can who can't fight. And welcome to the UFC. Best spurt of the season so far. As we go from that to our third fight, after that we head up to welterweight for a fight that was just as pathetic in terms of loser performances as we had in our third fight of the night at welterweight. Another pitiful performance from a guy who had no idea how to actually fight outside of throw power. Gosh, I'm gonna have to rant again. We had our third fight of the night, another pitiful performance from the loser, as we had Christopher, the newborn Alvidrez, I think that's how you say it, versus Eliezer Kubanza. Not a far fucking change from the fight we just talked about. A little bit longer, but that's about it. The rest was pretty much the same. For about 4 minutes, they had a pretty forgettable striking match. Kubanza didn't really land much. He landed a pretty decent body kick and I guess fucked up one of Christopher's legs, but that's about it. Eventually, Christopher started to really take over. He hurt Kubanza really bad, got him on jelly legs, dropped him, landed about 1,000 punches at ground and pound. But I know that makes it sound like it was bad reffing, but I really don't think it was. I think even you could have kept it going, even one day he did stop it. But after about like a minute of surviving, Kubanza was still on pretty shaky legs, but he was still in the fight. But eventually he got up, his legs were still shaky, and Herb called a stop to the fight. You know, you could have let it keep going on, but I get why they didn't finally call it. And yeah, Christopher was your winner, taking the O of Kubanza, and being the first underdog to win tonight, and I think the only one. So, Yeah, good for him, man. Again, not much different from what I would say before. I'm not super impressed because he beat a tomato can who can't actually fight, but win's a win. You have to fight who's in front of you, so good for Christopher. About right all I gotta say about the fight, so let's talk about fighters. I guess the last fighter made this recap even quicker because same thing, really. To talk about the winner, the contract winner, Christopher Alvidrez, 7-1, 28 years old from the Go Show. It's actually a pretty good camp. Yeah, he got the win, got the contract, had a win over a former UFC guy, and Takashi Sato, got a win in Karate Combat. I think out of all the contract winners, he might be the weakest. Like, of course, he did deserve it and he got the win, but I don't know. I think, especially at welterweight, I don't think this dude's gonna do much. He looks alright, but, like, good for him. He beat who was in front of him as an underdog. He got the contract, but do I really see this dude doing much in the UFC? No. I don't think he could crack, like, the top 45. Like, even lesser guys would probably beat him, so... He's not bad. I'm not saying he's bad at all, but I don't know, he just kind of seems like a guy who is not really much of like, oh, what, gotta keep your eye on him. He's fine. Welcome to the UFC. The weakest contract winner tonight, in my opinion, but he still deserved it. Got the win. Let's see what he can do in the UFC. He was kind of banged up in the post-fight. He was on crutches, so we probably won't see him anytime soon. Probably next year we'll see him. But, the only do. Good luck to him. Second GOAT shed fighter to get a contract this season with Jimenez a couple weeks ago. See what he can do. Pretty simple. Good win. On to the UFC. Oh boy, it's time to rant. And then the loser of this fight, the fraud Kubanza, who falls to 7-1, 27 years old. Yeah, he sucks, and everything I said about Demba in the last fight sticks here. This dude's fucking awful. And I'm gonna do it like this because it's just more fair to show both guys. I get the UFC wants another Ngannou, but Jesus fucking Christ, man, you're not gonna find it from these guys. I get it. You don't have real camps out there. This dude's from fucking Senegal, and this dude's from the fucking Congos. Okay, or Dominican Republic. Yeah, Republic of the Congos. I get it. You don't have a real fucking camp out there, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. You could come with a better game plan and punch really hard. That's basic heavyweight shit, and you ain't heavyweights. Y'all know why we're Francis Ngannou? Because he's heavyweight! Fighting dumb, fucking fat white dudes. Like fucking the debutant. Like fuck, man. The guy you fought in his debut at heavyweight, that's all heavyweight is. A bunch of fat dudes. Look at Justin Taffa. Look at fucking Chris Barnett. They're just fat dudes who hit hard. Like, that's their only game plan. It works there because it's just slow, fat dude. At welterweight, at featherweight, you can't win with that game plan. You just can't. Like, fuck, man. You need more of a game plan. That's what these guys don't got. They got padded records against cans who might not be real. And now they're in the big league and they get exposed. It's the same thing. We see it so often now. Ever since Ngannou, it happens so often. Adiba Gutierrez is clearly a fucking rarity. Because guys like this, guys like Musasa, who are their whole game plan, Robelis to Spain, holy fuck. Their whole game plan is just hit hard. Like, I get it. You get a pass to an extent because you don't got a real camp. But fucking Christ, man. When you get to a level like this, you can't have the game plan of I hit really hard. That doesn't work. Even at heavyweight, that doesn't really fucking work completely. So, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a dick, but fucking Christ, man. You're not giving me much other of a choice when back-to-back fights had the same thing. One dude who is actually trained and has a game plan versus one dude whose game plan is I hit really hard. Like, fuck, man, you're not Ngannou. Even Ngannou got better. Like, again, heavyweight. Adiba Gutierrez is getting better. outside of those guys, Despange, Musasa, these guys, UFC is just wasting their time giving these guys chances when, let's be honest, they're not gonna be good. So, I don't know. It's just a fucking waste of time. At heavyweight, it works. At even middleweight, it works. Middleweight's a shittier division. When you get to divisions that actually take talent and more, and even the divisions that don't take talent, again, Robust, Despange didn't work. But like, fucking Christ, man, you need more of a game plan than I hit really hard, and that's just what these guys do not have. So, I get you don't got real camps, but fucking Christ, try a little bit more. So, that's about all I gotta say. That's my little rant over with. And actually, the main event guy proves that even more to be fucking true. What I said to be true, so I don't know. Good one for Christopher. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Same thing with Campbell. Like, yeah, they beat terrible fighters, but they still got the job done, got the contract, and earned it. We'll see what Christopher can do in the UFC. I do think he's the weakest contract earner of the night. And then again for Kubanza, it's like the same thing I said with Seck. Just, you gotta learn more than just throwing big shots. That being said, I'm done ranting. Welcome to UFC, Christopher. Heal up, and let's see what he can actually do. Shitty fighters losing to actual legit fighters. I'd love to see it. After that, we get to the parts of the card that saved it, 'cause I thought the first 3 fights card were kind of weak, but the last 2 fights saved it, and now we get to legit shit. Finally, it took a while for this card to really get going, but it was saved at the end. As we begin the best parts of the card with the co-main event of the evening, the best overall fight of the card, and just a very impressive performance overall. As we had in our co-main event of the evening, a very good fight between one dude who's really good and one dude who's really tough. The longest fight of the night outside that piss break to begin it, and the best fight overall. Again, let's factor in what I'm saying there. The co-main event of the evening, when the card really got going to its best ability, at its best, I guess. Co-main event of the night at featherweight again. Is it featherweight or bantamweight? Bantamweight. I don't know why I thought it was featherweight. At bantamweight, the co-main, Luis Mad Prince Jourdain versus Magno the Violence Diaz. Well, the Jourdains got even with the nerds. Yes, this is Charles Jourdain's brother, and yes, this is a fighting nerd he fought. And I guess you can say fought, because really all he did was beat the shit out of him for 10 minutes. Not really a whole lot to recap for the fight. For the first 2 rounds, Jourdain just dominated. He was so much better on the feet. He did get taken down like twice, but he was able to survive. And on the feet, Diaz just had nothing. He was smaller, and his leg got chewed up, he got jabbed up, swell up, he just got dismantled. Jourdain had a masterclass of performance, and then the cherry on top was round 3. Diaz kept trying to take him down. The fight got to the ground, Jourdain got in the back, locked up the rear naked choke, and got to tap. 39 seconds into round 3, Charles Jourdain's brother gets the win after a masterclass of performance, and of course gets the contract to become the second brother signed this year with DWCS. And yeah, really impressive, very good fight. I don't know what the fuck Diaz is made out of, because he should have been finished in round 1 or 2 easily, but he somehow survived to get submitted. And good fight. Very, very good co-main event. I enjoyed it. Masterclass by Jourdain. And yeah, this was impressive. I was really impressed. I thought Jourdain was easily the best fighter we've seen so far this episode, until the main event, obviously. But yeah, he looked good. Looked really good. Getting revenge on the nerds for Gene beating Charles. And really good co-main event. Not really much I'll say about the fight, so let's talk about the fighters. Begin with the winner of the fight, the newest Canadian on the roster, newest brother on the roster, Luis Jourdain, 9-3, 28 years old. But yeah, he looked phenomenal, way better than I actually thought he was gonna look. Cause like honestly, Charles Jourdain's a very alright fighter, and I see Luis is not really the best record. He's a boxer, so I thought his like grappling would suck. But to be honest, he might be better than Charles. Like Charles is good. Luis might be more well-rounded. His kickboxing is phenomenal. His grappling looks pretty decent. His cardio is good. He's really fucking good. He did hurt his foot, which it seems like injuries, from what they say, it's like a big thing with him, so that kind of sucks. He wanted to get on the Canada card in 2 weeks, but that looks unlikely now. But he's good if he can stay active. He looks to be a pretty damn good fighter and well-rounded, pretty young still. He could be pretty decent, man. Again, like, we've seen how far Charles has got. Like, he's been a pretty average fighter. Luis might be better. Truly, he truly might be better, so... Good one for Jourdain. Good to get another set of brothers in the UFC. Just this season alone, again, them and the old Chaycheks. But in the UFC, again, he could be better than his brother. Again, that's more how good Luis is and not trying to shit on Charles, so... Very good performance by Luis. And then for the opponent, the somehow unkillable Magno Diaz, falling to 6-2 at 28 years old, a fighting nerd, which, god, they can't buy a win to save their fucking lives right now. Yeah, respect for him for taking the beating that he took. Is he that good? Not really. His striking looks pretty subpar. His grappling is clearly not very good. But he's tough. Again, a lot of other guys would have been finished. And just in general would have been finished by Jourdain with some of the shots that he landed so cleanly. But Diaz was tough. He had to finally tap, and respect him. He's tough. Talented? Not really, but he's tough. Could we see him again? Maybe. He is already 28, so it's a little bit older, and 6-2 is not a great record. So maybe. I doubt it, though. Yeah. He's tough. About the nicest thing I can say about him. Skill-wise, low. Toughness, high. Fighting nerds cry. And that's about all I gotta say about the co-main here. It was pretty good. Jourdain looked really good. Diaz is tough. Fun fight. Jourdain put on a masterclass and got a contract that he deserved. Welcome to the UFC. Wish he was healthy and could fight on a Canada card, but it's unlikely. But he's pretty good. Again, could be better than his brother. And, yeah, he got revenge for Charles losing to Gene, so guess they're even with the nerds now, and good co-main event W for the Jourdains. And then finally, the main event of the evening. A vicious knockout to end the night quickly in round 1, as we had a fight between two dudes who were meant to fight different people earlier in the season, but they got cancelled, and now they got booked here against each other, as we have in our main event of Week 8, our last fight before her last 2 card, or the 11th to last fight, I guess is how you want to phrase it, after it's only 2 more weeks and 10 more fights. But this did end on a banger, so I gotta love it, as we had a middleweight to end Week 8 with the highlight of the night and the best fighter of the night. We had to end Week 8 with a bang between Damian the Baba Yaga Pinas versus Vitor Costa. Now that's how you end the night of Contender Series, with a vicious walk-off knockout. Not much to say about the fight. Obviously it only went 1 minute and 46 seconds. Fight started, they was swinging big early. Pinas was getting the better of the exchanges though, landing big shots, and eventually he kept landing until Costa finally went down due to a overhand right that dropped him on all 4s. Herb Dean was slow to get over there, so Pinas landed one more big left hook, and, well, not hook, but left hand while he was down. And out of that, Pinas got to first round, almost walk-off knockout. Looked great. Can't say much else than that. That's how you do it. Good shit. Can't really say much else than that. Got a beautiful knockout in under 2 minutes. Sweet. What else is there to say? Let's talk about fighters. We'll begin with Pinas, who kind of makes the other guys on the card, from what we talked about earlier, look worse, because he is from Surmain, fighting out of Aruba, which I have no idea where the fuck that is, but it's cool. And he's an example of a guy who is coming from there, but decided to go to a legit camp like Nouveau União, which is always possible, but these guys don't fucking do it. So Pinas just makes the Kubanza and fucking Seck look dumber. But whatever. 8-1, 23 years old, super young, looks to be super talented. This kid could be good. This kid could be really good. He got the power and striking. We know that. Can he grapple? I would imagine he is from Nouveau União, so he should be able to grapple. Can he go the full 15? I don't think he never has. So that could be a worry, but as of right now, dude looks good. Bro, and we only saw a little under 2 minutes of fight time from him, but he looks good. Coming from a legit camp like Nouveau União, which obviously, if you know your shit, that's a camp we've heard that name for, what, 20 years? He's good. He's really fucking good. In the 2 minutes we saw, he has good striking, good power. We'll see if he can grapple and go the full 15, but from what we saw, he looked good. Welcome to the UFC. Can't do much better than that for a Contender Series appearance. See what the kid can do. Took no damage. Hopefully we see him fight ASAP. He looked good. Not much more to say. And then for the opponent, Vitor Costa now falls to 8-2, 25 years old. Another Fighting Nerd member. And yeah, they cannot buy a win right now. He takes the L here, taking his first L since his debut against Cesar Almeida, so that's interesting. Maybe we'll see this guy back in the future. He's pretty young, but he actually had a lot of respect coming into this. I know a lot of people were high on him. We'll see. Maybe he can get a couple more wins and be back in the future. I wouldn't be shocked by that. He fought a very good guy here. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Costa. I think out of all the losers, I think probably we would say the best. Like Diaz, I think is toughest, but skill, I think maybe Costa could be the best. Yeah, maybe we'll see him in the future, or maybe he sucks and we won't ever see him again. Who knows? But he was good cannon fodder here, so yeah, pretty simple. God, the Fighting Nerds can't win shit right now. And yeah, I think that's about that. Good one for Pinas, which, God, that name's gonna be memed on forever. And yeah, welcome to the UFC. Great performance, can't look much better than that. And let's see what happens with Pinas in the UFC. Middleweight got a new scary prospect. Hopefully he fights ASAP. Great way to end week 8 of the Contender Series with a vicious knockout. And that's about that, I guess. The only way to end this is how we always do, with a boom. That was the card. That was the recap. To go how I did on picks, I went, or guesses, I guess. 3 of 5, 2 perfect, 225. Made complete guesses. Made joke picks more than anything here. And yeah, for guessing, I'll take 3 of 5. Obviously there's no bonuses or chopping block, yada yada. As always, let's see, what would I do next? Obviously the 4 contracts went to the 4 finishers, no duh. If I had to do a ranking like they always do, for the fighters, I would say obviously Pinas 1, Jourdain 2, Campbell 3, Christopher 4, and obviously Vagabov 5. I'm very excited to see Pinas and Jourdain in the UFC. I'm intrigued to see what Campbell can do, and I think Christopher is So, yeah. And I think these guys beat way better guys than these guys did, so let that sink in. Yeah, it was a good week. Am I forgetting anything before we get to the rating? No, I don't think so. Hopefully we look back on this episode fondly when it comes to talent. We'll see. And if I had to give it a rating, I would rate this episode I'm gonna say a 6.2. I'm gonna say a 6.2. It was okay. A big step down from last week, which I think I gave that like a 9.5. So yeah, big step down, but I'm gonna say a 6.2. It was okay. The top 2 fights save the card completely. The first 3 fights are pretty and it was fine. It was a pretty fine week of Contender Series. Got some good. Again, hopefully we look back on this card fondly. Jourdain becomes something. Pinas especially becomes something. Campbell and Alvidrez. You never know. This episode on paper was really interesting. Execution was alright. And yeah, I'm gonna say 6.2. It was fine. Good way to begin pay-per-view week. And now that leaves us only 2 episodes and 10 fights left of Contender Series, which is painful. But we'll enjoy every second of it. And yeah, I think that's about that. Not really sure what else to say. Yeah, that's about all I gotta say about week 8. I feel like I'm reading something, but I'm probably not. Yeah, fine week of Contender Series. Always love Contender Series. And good way to start the week, so there you go. Obviously we still got 2 more weeks of Contender Series. I cannot wait for next week, so we got Manuel Rodriguez on it, who, if you know from what I thought of Tough this year, or if you watched Tough this year, you know how good he is. So that's definitely the highlight of next week. I cannot wait for. And then obviously if we look to UFC in general, what we got coming up, obviously on Friday, we'll point out the breakdown for a small card you've heard of, maybe UFC 320. Recap for it, and then obviously next Wednesday we'll be doing a recap for week 9 with Emmanuel Pride in the thumbnail by himself, so getting the win in the contract. So there you go, can't wait for that. Video wise, that's the schedule. Stream wise, Tuesday through Sunday. Cannot wait. Rating show, parlay, all the good shit. And shorts whenever I do them. Pretty much, not like anyone watches them anyway, so there you go. I think that's about everything I have to say for this. I don't know how I went 42 minutes. I felt like I went like 25, but whatever. I ramble and rant too much, but I love it. Hope you all did as well. And this is just the start of pay-per-view week. Let's start kicking it into gear 2, and that is getting ready for a great pay-per-view. So, Contender Series and books, we look forward to the pay-per-view and the big fight of the week. I cannot wait. So let's not wait any longer. Let's head into the next day of the week, or whatever day you're watching this on. So, that being said, I think it's more than fair to say I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 200 subs to go by the end of 2025. And unless I'm going to say something which I don't believe I am, I feel like I am, but I think I'm wrong. All I have left to say is, as always, got a lot of content left this week, so let's enjoy all of it by saying RX out. Good vibes only. And always.